Hey, what's up guys? My name is Bing Bong Bumfuck, and today, for fuck's sake, I'm gonna be showing you why Black Ops Cold War may just be. I am not gonna shit on anything in this video because I'm a good, positive boy now. I lied, I am gonna be shitting on something. Comment down below what it is that you think I'll be shitting on today, and you will be entered into my iPhone 12 giveaway. Along with an iTunes $1 gift card, because that's more than I can afford right now, honestly. Can you finna spin a wheel? No, shut the fuck up. There we go, boys. That's that. Now, my problem with modern Call of Duty games is that they all boil down to the same fucking trope. America good, Russia bad. In America, some people want small mommy GF with small Milky, but we need to make sure the tent is big enough for mommy GF with biggie Milky and penis. The entire MW trilogy is exactly this. You could say that the two Black Ops games are this as well. Now, it's not a bad thing. I respect it because it's fiction. What I don't respect is that a good majority of the Call of Duty games all boil down to this exact trope. Russia bad, America good. Again, I respect it because it's still fiction. We all know America can't do good shit all the time, you know? If you change real events to match your point of view, your false point of view, and make them fictitious events, and if you still call it a retelling of history, a game based on real life, you are misleading people. You are creating fucking propaganda. Now listen, I don't want to be one of those bitches who say, hey, all these COD Duty games, the American propaganda. I don't want to be that guy. I still play the COD games and I still enjoy them. But if you're gonna create a game that is based on history, if you present them in any other way than presenting them as they actually happen, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, bro. Now listen, fictitious characters are one thing. You could have a real story with fictitious characters in them as a medium to tell the story. That's completely fine. But it should all boil down to something that actually happened in real life. The Cold War. With the facts in mind, with the facts of history in mind, it should all boil down to what we experienced ourselves in real life. If it boils down to something other than that, to make America look good or better than it actually does in real life, or even Russia, I'm gonna take a stick and shove it up your ass is what I'm gonna do. Now, I say I don't like that they make America look like the force that can do no bad and always good. I say I don't like that, and yet I also say that Black Ops 1 is my favorite Call of Duty of all time. Black Ops 1 is also based on the Cold War. The reason why I like Black Ops 1 specifically is because it introduces creative elements to the story. Now, Black Ops 1 involves you playing as Mason as a sleeper agent. They brainwash you, and your job is to kill the president at a certain point. You're caught before this actually ever happens, and you're unbrainwashed, so to speak. Now, the number station is where the brainwash shit happened in simple terms. The plot of the game involves you finding the number station and shutting that shit down once and for all. That's the main plot. This is not what fucking happened in real life, okay? There was no number station in real life. There is none of that shit in history. So this makes it a game inspired by real events, not a game based on real life. There are so many characters like Fidel Castro, JFK, all that shit in the game that makes the game inspired by the Cold War. It's not based on it, it's just inspired by it. There are no real events that have been told in the game that are spun up to match America's point of view or Russia's point of view. Now, if you look at the last mission of the game, where you found the number station and you go to fucking destroy it, it's a ship, the Rusalka. It's a sinking ship. Fucking Voyage of Despair, oh my god. You go inside the ship and you have the rough loading screen theme song, and you find yourself vibing to this shit like... You navigate your way through the ship and you find the big bad Russian. The Russian behind it all, so to speak. You find yourself hanging over a ledge. Dragovich, the big bad Russian, comes in, points a gun at you, but hey, he's distracted because of course you're the main character. You won't actually die. You beat the fuck out of him. He's like, fuck you, and you're like, fuck you, and it goes on and on, really. Anyway, you choke him to death. You find yourself in a predicament. You're gonna drown too. But of course, you're the main character. Okay, you're the main character. That shit's not gonna happen. You swim up, of course. You swim up to the Navy ships, and you're pulled up onto the boat, and you have a stereotypical American quote, and you have a stereotypical American rock song playing in the background.
Mason! It is over. We won.
For now.
Mason! It is over. We won.
18 naked cowboys in the shower.
Now, after we witness the most American game ending known to man, you look at yourself in the mirror and you see Mike Wazowski in the mirror, because that's exactly what you look like in real life. But then you watch the after credits scene. You have this woman reading out numbers that made you brainwashed in the first place from the number station. And then you get shown footage of JFK from the day that he was assassinated. And you look at this and you're like, hey, this is okay, this is pretty cool. Maybe this is a tribute, right? And then
Ascension.
the hairs on my ass are currently standing up for your information. What this means is that this guy, he's Mason. He's the person who was a sleeper agent to begin with. The person whose goal was to kill President JFK. You're wondering, hey, why is he beside JFK the day JFK was assassinated? Let me go back to the point where you were beating the fuck out of Dragovich.
Tried to turn me against my own. Tried to make me kill my own president.
Tried.
This fucking line, I did not even get it until like a decade after I first played the game. Fucking poggers in the chat, boys, let's go. You made me try to kill my own president. Tried? You know what the best thing about this scene is? Is that in real life, there's actually a real conspiracy or theory, you may call it. The theory goes that there was another person that was going to assassinate JFK, and he was never caught. And only one was ever caught. Oswald. Black Ops 1 takes that theory and makes Mason the alleged second assassin. Now, in my opinion, the hairs all over my body and my ass are standing up. They're fully erect. There's also another thing that's erect right now. If Black Ops Cold War pulls something like this, I will be completely fine with it. As long as it doesn't present real information and spins it up to match the American point of view to make America look good and Russia bad. As long as it doesn't do that, like how MW 2019 did it, then I'm fine with it. Although I just have this feeling in my gut that we won't actually get something like Black Ops 1. We'll get something like MW 2019, which is just... And from all the promotional material that we have seen, it does seem like that, yes, this is the so-called American propaganda. Again, I don't want to call it that. I don't want to call it American propaganda to begin with. If the only purpose it has to exist is to make America look good, I don't know, man. Thing is, I don't have a problem with America looking good. Like, in reality, okay, in reality, they're both bad. Fuck's sake, I'm making this political. Okay, cut that shit, cut that shit. As long as we get something like Black Ops 1, I'll be fine with it. This is what I loved about the first two Black Ops games, is that they had creative stories and they had real life events to complement the fictitious story. Now, if you have a real life story that's spun up to match your point of view, that's really bad. That's honestly really bad. The Highway of Death thing was really reminiscent of that idea, but the first two Black Ops games, in my eyes, they were fictitious stories with real events to complement the fictitious story. They weren't spun up to make one side or the other look better than it actually is in real life. Now, the multiplayer side of things is where my opinion does not have much value to begin with, because multiplayer, I'm not into FPS shooters anymore, especially competitive ones. If you ask me, I only play first-person shooters casually now, just to kill time. Before, I used to grind the fuck out of every Call of Duty multiplayer there was, plus many other shooters. But now, my opinion on the multiplayer does not have much value. But I will say that when I played the alpha, it was decent to me. The game generally felt like MW 2019, with the combat feeling reminiscent of Black Ops 4, but with the longer time to kill and whatnot. Now, that's not a bad thing to me. Okay, I kind of expected that, honestly, but I know that it's up to the individual. Also, I know there's a host of other issues like SBMM and time to kill. You know, I'm not gonna get into that. Okay, from a casual point of view, the game felt decent to me from the multiplayer side of things. But again, it's up to the individual, and if you don't like the multiplayer experience of Cold War from the alpha or from the upcoming beta, I get that, okay? I'm sorry you didn't like it. If you loved it, I'm glad you love it. Me, I just found it decent. I will not be grinding the fuck out of it. I will not be doing none of that. Now we're gonna get into the real meat of the video. The zombies. What about the zombies? This is what everyone cares about in our community. What about the zombies? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me tell you, boy, it's some... The first time I watched this video, the trailer, my balls had dropped. And they have not been reattached as of yet. My reaction upon seeing Juggernaut return was equivalent to that of cavemen discovering fire for the first time.
Oh, I think it is. I think it is.
Now, I didn't even realize that the woman in the beginning of the cinematic was Samantha Maxis. Holy fuck. I thought, look, the other character calls her Sam, okay? Now that got my brain thinking, but it did not click in my head. It wasn't until I saw this video of Noah J's stream, someone in the chat said that the number she types or she clicks on the telephone, they spell out M-A-X-I-S, Maxis.
Blake and
Wait,
Tim are mooks.
hold on. M-A-X... Maxis!
Looks interesting so far.
And let me tell you, bro, that got my emotions going. Alright? People be like, no, this is reused story elements, but I'm all like, hey, my emotions go. Now, in my opinion, nostalgia bias aside, I fucking love this regardless. In my opinion, aside from Samantha Maxis and the emotional shit, if you go ahead and look at the gameplay element, it really does feel like a new direction with some elements of IW zombies and World War II zombies mixed in, but still a whole new direction regardless. This wonder weapon is bigger than my ass. Have I ever told you that? And my ass is pretty huge, by the way, just for comparison.
Hey!
You can't kill me.
Wait, is Mason?
Now, in my opinion, the way I see it, the game looks extremely good. Not from a hopeful point of view. I already had high expectations for this, by the way, and high expectations are not always a good thing because the game has to live up to those high expectations. The community had high expectations for Black Ops 4 because Black Ops 4 was a game to end the 10-year-old storyline, and the game just simply did not live up to those expectations. It wasn't a bad game, but it just didn't live up. Me personally, even after being disappointed, I had high expectations for Cold War Zombies, and I was still pleasantly surprised. Now, if they mess up this game, I will never buy a Call of Duty game again. I also said that for Black Ops 4, by the way. Look, we're all simps for Call of Duty, alright? We're all simps for Samantha Maxis. The community's reaction was also pleasant, which I'm really glad to see. There's finally some fucking positivity in the community. This is a point where I'm glad we returned to, okay? Now again, the game hasn't released yet. Nobody played zombies. Nobody played Cold War Zombies until now, okay? Recognize that. Still, upon seeing the trailer, the only negative thing that I've seen being talked about was how the characters aren't designated. Now, we have no confirmation of this, okay? Let me just state that right now. There's no confirmation whether we have a 4-player crew with character development of those 4 characters. We do not have a confirmation of that yet. What we do have confirmation of is that you can use multiplayer operators in the game, Zombies game. If it's anything like, hey, you have a new 4-player crew, like the Ultimus crew, Nikolai, Dempsey, Toffin, and Takeo, but instead of them, it's a new cast. If you have something like that, but you can like switch out, let's say, Takeo for a skin or a character that you paid for in multiplayer, then that's fine in my opinion, because you paid for the skin in multiplayer. It would be a good thing for you to use it in Zombies if you so wish. But if you don't have 4 designated characters, 4 canon characters in the game, that's the only thing iffy about Zombies so far. If you don't care about this, I can understand that. If you do care about this, there's no confirmation whether this is actually the case or not. There's no confirmation, there's nothing, there's just speculation. The only confirmation we have is that you can use operators in the Zombies game mode. Also, did I talk about how sexy the perks look? Holy fuck, look at QR, look at QR, look at Jump, look at Speak Up. What is Elemental Pop and why does it look so fucking hot?
Men only like jerks who treat them like shit. Why do guys only want bitchy bimbos who walk all over them?
Now for zombies in Black Ops Cold War, we're starting off from where Black Ops 4 ended. After Premise sacrificed themselves along with Ultimus, they created a single universe, a single perfect universe, and that's where we start Black Ops Cold War Zombies in. That's the way I understand it. And Samantha Maxis, this is the same Sam, the German Sam in the ending of TOG, and there's someone trying to contact Sam, and it's probably Eddie. And if that's the case, my emotion. I believe that the trope of the story is really good to begin with. The Dark Ether storyline. That sounds pretty cool. It's not a reused thing. It's a completely new story, but it's lightly based on what we already had seen. It's like a prequel type of thing. Hey, you could start Black Ops Cold War Zombies without even knowing what happened in the other Black Ops games because that's how it is. Overall, I would give Black Ops Cold War a Russia good, America bad out of 10.